Okay, so today we are going to be doing something a little bit different than a plan with me, but since I use a lot of printable kits, I have been asked before to do a video on how I work with printable kits and how I print them out and just kind of the whole process. So I don't know if I'm going to break this into two parts. It just kind of depends on how long it is, but that's what we're going to be doing today. So, okay, so for this particular tutorial, I'm just going to be using this freebie from Beautiful Planning. It's her October monthly kit. I'm going to be using this kit for my budget monthly for October. So I was about to download it and I figured that would be a perfect time for me to show you how I mess with printables. So as you can see, most, with Beautiful Planning's kits, she offers them in multiple formats. So she has Erin Condren, Happy Planner. A lot of people that don't have silhouettes will either work with JPEGs or PDF files. And then she also has the mini Happy Planner. She has a freebie notes page and a recollections planner. So I'm working with the Erin Condren. So I'm just going to click on this and then silhouette files and download. Okay, so I got those, and then I don't know if I want this notes page. I really just want this one file, so I'm going to download this. Okay. So we are pretty much done on the internet here. I'm going to go back to staring at our husband for a second here. He's delightful. But what I want to do now is on my desktop, I have a printables folder, and I have everything sorted except for this one. Hang on. It's going to drive me crazy because I just had it on my desktop before. But Honey Bee Printables. Oh, can't spell. So I have this. Oh, I did have one here. Do I have anything in this? I don't. I just never put it in this folder. Okay. And so I'm just going to slide that over. So with Beautiful Planning, I actually have a lot of her stuff. So I have hers set up differently than all of my other shops that I buy from or download from. So I have some functional icons because I have downloaded a lot of functional stuff, monthly kits, her $2 Tuesdays, which are like sets that have to be worked. And then I have her weekly kit separated because otherwise the folder is out of control with how much stuff I have in it. So we're doing a monthly kit, and I am pretty sure that's October. I already downloaded this, but then I thought to do this video. So we are going to take this folder, rename it to October 17. And then it has these two things in here. And then I'm going to take this other notes page. I'm going to select all and then double click. I don't know if you can do this on a Windows computer as far as the select all double click, but that's how I open multiple files at once. And then what I always do, so hers are formatted really, really well. There's not a whole lot of stuff that I have to do on her files to make sure that they print correctly, because she already has. So if you're new to Silhouette Studio, you want to make sure that the cutting mat shows the right size. So sometimes when I open a file, it has the cameo mat. It will not print if you have a Silhouette and the mat is showing cameo. You have to make sure to switch it to portrait. So that's what I change all of mine to. So Stephanie from Beautiful Planning, her kits, like I said, are formatted beautifully. So the other thing is I like to turn on show print border because I want to make sure, because some kits that I download if they have the margins, registration marks, there we go, set on it already, they are set outside of my print margins for my printer. And so I like to make sure that they are set correctly. So we just make sure that everything is inside of this gray line, and then anything in the red section, that is the actual cut section. So all of your stickers need to be inside of the red section as well. her cut lines are already on here, and they are like pristine. They're so perfect. So again, there's not a whole lot I have to do with this kit, but sometimes you'll have to go into Studio, and page setup is normally open right away. If you click on the registration, the registration marks, this last icon here, you can change the inset. So you can change the inset, and you can change the length of the registration marks. So generally speaking, longer, bolder registration marks will register a lot easier with your silhouette if you have any issues with it. I haven't had any issues with mine, so I can have them like relatively small and it'll still cut just fine. But as you can see, like I said, Stephanie's kits are formatted perfectly that even if you go max in the registration marks, everything is perfect. Also with the registration marks, if any of your cut lines are in any of this hashtagged area or hatched area, whatever you want to call it, it will not cut. So you need to make sure that all of your stickers are within like the cutting range section. So within the red lines, and then not in this section at all. So like I said, hers are formatted really, really well. On some downloads, I really kind of have to mess with them and sometimes I'll change the top inset so that I can get all of the stickers in. As you can see, like the top kind of just moves around like that. And then some of them I have to move the bottom inset up because it's set too low. So I just always make sure that those are set right. And again, if I'm printing out a kit, I go through and look at all of them. So this is a problem. So this we need to mess around with, because as you can see, these cut lines are in this hatched mark. The easiest way to fix this is to change our left inset and flip it over, and it's still in there. So we're gonna just have to make the length of these a little bit shorter. So I'm probably gonna go with that because I think that's gonna be fine. And then what I always do is I always hit save, because what if something happens between printing and cutting? You will not believe it, but it happens. So you just need to make sure that is that you save anytime you, like right before you print. Otherwise, if something happens and you lose your file, when you go to cut it, it won't give you any sort of error. Okay, so there's that. And then the last freebie that we downloaded was the mission board, or like the notes page. So this is for like the new Erin Condren. So you have your 4 circles, and then you have like a brain dump where you can put anything, goals currently, which is kind of cool. And then your kits to use. Ooh, I haven't even seen that before, so I love that. And then you have like a monthly habit tracker and a reward. Oh, that's good. I have never used one of these before, but I think I actually will use this in like my regular monthly view and my regular planner, just because it has this kits to use thing, which I think is really cool. But I also could do that on like in the sidebar, because sometimes I don't know what to use the sidebar for, because I don't have that many goals and stuff like that month wise, that since I have like my budget planner and then my regular planner are kind of separate things. I digress. I'm talking a lot. Okay, so let me make sure that my printer has paper and we shall print. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to print, and this is just how I print my stickers. I'm currently using the Milcoast waterproof matte sticker paper. So this is how my print screen pulls up. Obviously it probably pulls up differently for different printers, different computers, that sort of thing. I just go into quality and media. I leave it on plain paper. I've tried it on multiple paper types because I have a lot that I can choose from, and nothing prints as good as plain paper on this particular paper that I'm printing on. And then I go to print quality and I go custom, and I go almost the best just right in here. It prints really good for me. I don't see the reason to go to like fine print quality, because it's just going to waste ink. So we shall print. So we just hit print, and then it's going to print. And then the settings are saved after you do one. So we just go in and print all three and print. And then I always try to print this whatever last page I have up first, just because I try to print like backwards order, because once I cut this one and I close this tab, it like defaults back to this one, so then I don't have to like flip around. And normally I have quite a few kits open at once, because I'm like mass printing. But we're gonna print this out and then I shall be back. Okay, so, all right, so we're just sitting at my desk. Here we are. Right now we're just printing, and the kits are coming off here, and then I have my silhouette set up right here, and then my mat, and then we'll kind of go into this a little bit more here in just 1 second. Okay, so now we are to the cutting stage, and I am going to I already stuck this on to my mat. I use a cry cut mat because my silhouette one stopped being sticky, and so I had to order a new one, and you can get 2 cry cut mats for the same price as a silhouette mat, so I bought one of these. So I'm gonna load this in, and I really should have planned this better because I'm holding the camera and I only really have 2 hands, but what you'll see when you go to load the mat, there's a bunch of buttons on the side. You have to press the top one. You press this one that's just load media, and it will not cut anything. You have to load mat. And then you want to make sure that this is kind of lined up on this side. You can kind of put it wherever. It's not that picky. But we'll see how well I can do this with one hand. And it just feeds it in. And then we're going to switch back to the computer to the cut settings. Okay, so we are back on the cut settings, or we're going to be doing the cut settings. So once we have this printed out, what we want to do is load it in the silhouette, just like I did, and then we're going to send to silhouette. What you want to do is select your material type, and what I do sometimes too is I'll use certain material types and just kind of like adjust them to what I know that they will cut. So, sticker paper white, is that what this is already set to? That's what it's already set to. Okay, so just a little bit more about the silhouette settings for cut sections. So this is set to sticker paper, there we go. And this will tell you, so blades at 2, speed 8, thickness 14. So generally speaking, I always keep the blade at 2. The speed and thickness can kind of go hand in hand. So I know a lot of people will cut sticker paper at like 2, 4, 4. 4 is really slow as far as speed for me. That's how fast it goes through the cut sections. And like on a sheet like this where it's just cutting lines and there's not a whole lot of like icon stickers to cut out, there is no reason for the speed to be 4. Like, speed it on up, girl. But at the same time, the slower the speed, the lower the thickness, because essentially this is going much faster over the sticker paper, and so you need to set the blade depth for how hard it's going to try to cut it to higher, because if you normally cut it at 4 and you raise the speed to 8, it's not going to put enough pressure on it to fully cut it through, if that makes sense. So I noticed that these two go hand in hand. So like I used to say I cut this same paper at like speed 4, thickness like 8 or something like that. But 4 is slow. But also if you're finding a paper that's like super hard to cut, like I was trying to cut glossy stickers the other day and I had the thickness set at like 20 and it still wasn't cutting all the way through. Which test cuts are amazing for that. Just to make sure that you don't try to cut the whole sheet of paper and then it's not actually cut. But I couldn't get it to work. So I think what I ended up doing was, normally I write it down on a Post-it note and I didn't 31015, is that what that was? Yeah, glossy. 31015 is what I ended up using. So I did have to take that one up to a higher blade depth, but that's the only way I can get it to cut, because I'm not slowing this train down. I digress. So let's cut this sheet of paper. So you just want to make sure your materials are right. Make sure that your lines are highlighted and cut. So if we uncheck some of these red ones, you'll see that that goes away, and that goes away, and that goes away, and those circles goes away. So I just need to make sure those are checked. And then I just hit send. And then this little mamma jamma is super loud as it reads through and tries to cut. Let's see. I didn't plan this out very well. But so now we're cutting, and it's already registered everything. So it's gonna go through and cut. And sometimes it makes like weird sounds, and you think, man, do I have the settings on this wrong? No, it's probably fine. But yeah, it's just gonna cut the page. And then you'll see on the computer that, maybe not. Can't really see it, it's like so washed out. Oh no, what's happening? Oh, so there's two cuts of red lines. So like sometimes it'll cut like that. And you're like, ooh, am I breaking something? No, it's fine. All right, so it's cut. And it, like I said, this page is super simple. There's not a whole lot of stuff on it. But one thing I will note, so another part of the whole process here is, oh gosh, again, I have one hand. So you'll press this little unload button here. That'll pop out your stickers. And what I normally do is this premium matte paper kicks up quite a bit of dust. So what I do is I kind of like wipe it off before I pull it off the mat, and that's why my mat looks a little dirty. Well, for that reason, and these mats are super sticky when you first get them, and you don't want it to like stick too much to the mat, because then it's super hard to get off, and then it makes it so that if it does cut through, you're just like living a nightmare in real life. So yeah, let me wipe this down, and yeah. And then we shall always do a test pull, and it pulls up perfectly. So we stick that back down. So 1 out of 3 down. Let's go on to the next sheet. Okay, so we're on to the next sheet, and then I'm just gonna show you how we do this. You just wanna line it up to the top corner and then stick it down. Alright, so kit is totally printed and cut, and now the only thing left to do is our budget plan with me, so that'll be the next video I put up. But that's just how I print and cut my printable stickers. If you have any additional questions, by all means reach out to me. And I did a little intro, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time to put it in the video, of how I like pick kits that I want to use, and I can definitely go more in depth on like how I decide which printable shop to purchase from and what I'm looking for. And then there's also the how to kind of manipulate kits for what you only want to print out so that you save time and space. So that's a whole nother video all in Silhouette Studio. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Leave any questions or comments or anything specific that you want to see down below, and I will for sure answer those questions or address them in a later video. Bye!